Hi everyone, it's me, Brandon. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me today for another skincare vlog. I'm just getting my props together right now. I'm doing kind of like a mini EltaMD haul in this video. I hope you enjoy. So my name is Brandon. I am a medical writer. I've written over 1,800 medical articles, all of which you can find freely on the web, most of which are focused in the field of skincare, dermatology research. I'll leave a link down below so you can check them out. But today I'm going to be doing a review of one of my favorite sunscreen brands. They actually have other skincare products I believe, but I have only purchased their sunscreens because I really highly trust the quality of these sunscreens. But this review, other than just like showing you the sunscreens that I have from that brand, is really going to be focused on the UV Facial Broad Spectrum SPF 30+, the combination transparent zinc oxide octinoxate sunscreen. And in this video, I'll do a brief overview of the ingredients, the research behind the ingredients. I'll apply it to my face too so you can see what it looks like on my skin. And I'll briefly compare them with the other EltaMD sunscreens that I own, the other mineral sunscreens that I own. But before I begin, please hit the like button down below. It really helps me to grow my channel and reach more people, and I really appreciate it. And if you're into skincare, sunscreen, anti-aging, research, evidence-based skincare product reviews, you might like this channel, so go ahead and subscribe down below. Stick around so you can see future videos. I'd love to have you here to interact with me on this channel. I learn a lot from people who communicate, leave comments, and subscribe to my channel, so I'd love to have you here so we can all just sort of grow this skincare research community here on YouTube. Okay, so like I said, I love the EltaMD sunscreens. I have probably, I think, 2 sunscreen reviews from EltaMD on this channel. The first one that I did was the lightly tinted SPF 41. And this is the same, it's in the same bottle size, 3-ounce bottle. It is a pure mineral sunscreen, 100% zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, and it's tinted. So it's very lightly tinted. It kind of just smooths out and blemishes and kind of provides an overall coverage, cosmetic coverage on your skin, but it has iron oxides in here that help to potentially protect against blue light or visible light from our devices, from our TV screens, as well as from the sun as well. There's increasing evidence that in addition to UV or ultraviolet radiation that comes from the sun, blue light, visible light, may also contribute to the production of reactive oxygen species in the skin, oxidation, free radicals, that also contribute to skin aging. And blue light also contributes to hyperpigmentation, particularly in people with darker, deeper skin tones. So there is evidence to suggest that wearing a tinted mineral sunscreen can help gradually reduce hyperpigmentation, but also possibly improve the anti-aging benefits of sunscreen in that it can help to reduce the free radical damage associated with that blue light, with the visible light. So yeah, I really love that sunscreen. I've been using it for probably a couple of years now, maybe since 2018 or 2019, probably since 2019 actually. And the other sunscreen review from EltaMD that I have is the UV Elements Broad Spectrum SPF 44 with hyaluronic acid. This is also a purely zinc oxide, titanium dioxide sunscreen, purely mineral sunscreen. This one is about 1 ounce less in size than the lightly tinted sunscreen, but it provides a deeper skin tone coverage in my opinion. I mean, it's definitely darker than my skin tone, which is sort of on the pale with yellowish undertones. And I like both of them. I tend to use the lightly tinted more so for my skin type, again, because the Elements is a little bit darker. I think it's probably best suited for deeper skin tones. If you go to my other videos that I will leave a link down below and I'll also put in cards above, you can see me swatch the sunscreens, those tinted ones, as well as you can see me applying them and comparing them side by side. But in this new sunscreen that I've been using by EltaMD that I'm really loving, it is a combination sunscreen. It is the SPF 30+. It has zinc oxide in it as well as octinoxate. It kind of reminds me of the Dermatology SPF 45 combination sunscreen, which is also a combination of zinc oxide and octinoxate. And these filters, oh, by the way, in the Dermatology, except for the Dermatology sunscreen, it kind of smells like pool water for some reason, not sure why. But the combination of zinc oxide and octinoxate really helps to just cut down on the white cast that's associated with a lot of sunscreens that contain titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. Zinc oxide is a really robust filter blocking agent of UV, particularly UVA, UVA1 and UVA2. Not so much UVB, that's really the responsibility of titanium dioxide, which also protects against UVA2. But to cut down on that white cast that's associated with mineral sunscreens, a lot of manufacturers like EltaMD, Dermatology will use a combination of zinc oxide to cover UVA, UVA1 and UVA2, and something like octinoxate or octocrylene to provide that UVB coverage. Ultraviolet radiation B is the type of radiation from the sun that contributes to skin burning or a sunburn, but also UVB, in addition to UVA, definitely drive the free radical damage of the skin, DNA mutations, and contribute overall to the risk of skin cancer. But yeah, I personally try to stay away from chemical sunscreens for my face just because my skin is very sensitive, but my eyes are probably even more sensitive. I mean, they will turn red just thinking red. I think I have allergies or something, but I also think I just have really sensitive eyes. I mean, if I put a chemical sunscreen on my face and it's just pure chemicals with like, and not a Japanese sunscreen or European sunscreen, but it's something with like avobenzone and octocrylene and octinoxate, and I put all these like mix of chemicals on my skin, on my face, they invariably get into my eyes, and I am not capable of being in the world for 2 to 3 hours because I cannot get them out of my eyes. My eyes are burning, they're red, I'm crying, literally crying, tears. And it also somehow, I don't know, gets into my eyes and also gets into my nasal passages, and I'm just like having almost like an allergic reaction to those chemicals. I don't know if I have an allergy or if it's just an interaction that's happening with my eyes and my nasal passages for some reason, but I just can't handle chemical sunscreens on my face. Octinoxate tends to be a chemical that I can handle better, especially if it's combined with a mineral filter. Minerals are a lot better for sensitive skin and sensitive eyes. They don't burn around the eyes, they tend not to burn on the skin. And I don't know, octinoxate, in comparison to octocrylene, if you actually look at the word octocrylene, it has the word cry in it, so I tend to stay away from that, not just because of that, but because, I mean, that is definitely an indicator, because whenever I do use it, I tend to cry. But octinoxate, I don't tend to have that reaction, and it's just one filter in the EltaMD sunscreen combined with the mineral sunscreen or the mineral filter blocking agent that's actually going to really cut down on the reaction that I have with chemical filters. But anyway, this is a non-tinted sunscreen, and compared with the other EltaMD sunscreens, this really doesn't have it doesn't have any added antioxidants. I know with the lightly tinted SPF 41 EltaMD sunscreen, this actually has, I think, quercetin in it, as well as ALA, which is alpha lipoic acid. These are antioxidants that may potentially have a role in reducing skin aging and have antioxidant benefits and just really boost the overall protection of the sunscreen, because UV from the sun contributes to the generation, again, of free radicals, and having antioxidants, topical antioxidants, theoretically can help to just really reduce that free radical damage. So anyway, yeah, the SPF 30, the non-tinted combination sunscreen that I'm reviewing today, doesn't seem to have any added antioxidants. I don't even know if it has hyaluronic acid. Let me actually refer to the box. I tend to keep the boxes that my skincare come in. I don't know why, but this has, okay, so this is actually a very hydrating sunscreen, and it actually says that on the bottle. It says moisturizing facial sunscreen. But in terms of the inactive ingredients outside of water, it also has petrolatum in it, so that's the second ingredient behind water. And petrolatum is basically petroleum jelly or Vaseline. It is a really good emollient as well as occlusive agent. So by emollient, I just mean anything that's going to smooth out your skin, your skin cells. It's just going to smooth out your overall appearance and make it look hydrated. Think of oil. Think of like an oil, basically. Like if you're slathering an oil, that's what it's going to kind of make it look like. But petrolatum it doesn't clog the pores. Whether or not it contributes to acne kind of depends on the person. And petrolatum also is a great occlusive agent. So whenever you apply it to wet, damp skin, you trap that water in your skin and you help keep your skin hydrated longer. Basically, it doesn't evaporate. If you remember back to my transepidermal water loss video where I explained how water can evaporate from the skin and lead to dryness, petrolatum really cuts down on that and is fantastic. It leads to significant water retention and reduction in transepidermal water loss or dehydrated skin. I mean, other than that, there's not really any sort of antioxidants or noble skincare ingredients to speak of. But really, when it comes to a sunscreen, all you really need are those filters, the zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, octinoxate, tinidor, you name it. That's really what's going to provide the anti-aging benefit. That's really what's going to provide the benefit, the evidence-based benefit that's been demonstrated in studies consistently to date. Now I'm just going to go ahead and show you what the sunscreen looks like first on my hand, and then it's basically just your average white sunscreen. It's nothing exciting. But like I said, this kind of reminds me of the dermatology sunscreen, both in feel and appearance. I think the dermatology is a little bit more moisturizing because it's marketed as a lotion. But this one, if you just rub it in the back of your hand, it disappears. You can't see it. So that's good. Yeah, and I think that whenever I apply it to my face, as you will see in just a minute, it also tends to disappear rather quickly. I find swatching on the back of your hand versus your face doesn't really provide you a good demonstration because it tends to differ. I find, at least on my skin, my hand, my facial skin are two different beings almost. Okay, so I just learned of one method, and you probably are thinking that I'm really behind the times, but there's this one method, like the 2-finger method of measuring sunscreen to know that you have had enough. I never measure my sunscreen. I don't use teaspoons or half a teaspoon or anything like that. I just put it on my skin. But I learned that if you put a line on 2 fingers like this, that will give you a good view of how much sunscreen you need. I feel like I need more. I'm pretty heavy-handed when it comes to sunscreen, as I did in my under that 3-in-1 Total Eye by Color Science. Everyone in that video was saying that I was applying too much under my eye, and that's why I didn't like it. But I'm just gonna go ahead and use this 2-finger method and then the dot method to apply this to my skin, so you can see how it goes on and how it just sort of evens out and disappears. Despite having zinc oxide in it, it really, really blends into my skin tone and doesn't leave a significant cast. If anything, I feel like it actually kind of blurs any imperfections and smooths out my skin, because not only does it have that zinc oxide to blur the imperfections, but it also is very moisturizing with the water and the petrolatum in it. So that I love, while providing SPF 30+. What does that even mean, SPF 30+? Is it just like a range, or why couldn't they come with a conclusive SPF? I don't understand. Okay, I feel like I probably need more. I don't know. Am I really that heavy-handed? Let's just go ahead and apply this out and see what this looks like. So as you can see, it goes on pretty white. Now, I'm not gonna apply this on my eyelids because I just cannot put any sort of chemical on my eyelids. Even under my eye is really dangerous because I just don't wanna risk it. I've had octinoxate in my eyes before, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't pleasant. So if I do sunscreen on my eyelids, it's usually a mineral sunscreen. And I've seen videos of people on YouTube putting pure chemical sunscreens all on their eyeballs, or not eyeballs, but like their eyelids. It's like, how are you surviving that? Like, I don't understand that. But as you can see, this is really blending out and almost disappearing. I'm gonna need to go to a mirror real quick because I'm just focusing on the viewfinder right now. Okay, so this is about maybe like a minute afterwards, so you can see it's a little on the pale side. What does it compare to like my arms? Does it look the same? Yeah, it's a little on the pale side right now, but it's going to really, really calm down in a minute here. You can tell definitely probably by looking at it how moisturizing it is. I can tell just by feeling it. I'm probably rubbing a bunch off of my fingers right now, but it is very, very moisturizing, and you can feel that petrolatum like consistency, the texture of petrolatum. Petrolatum it's almost kind of like on the oily side. So I would say that you can definitely feel that petrolatum. So if you don't like that feeling, you might not, and you want sort of more of a matte finish, you might want something that's definitely more matte. I mean, and I have sunscreen reviews on this channel that will lead you in the right direction, but this one is definitely for people with more dry combination skin, or people that need that extra moisture for whatever reason. If you're in a dry climate, or it's winter, etc. I'm just gonna let this calm down for a few minutes, and I'm gonna come back so you can see what it looks like after maybe like 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. I know somebody said that on my channel recently. They wanted to see really what it looked like after it's calmed down. So give me 10 minutes. Okay, so I'm back. So a few minutes have passed. As you can see, it definitely has calmed down. Like, what do you think? I think that it looks natural. I mean, when you like compare it to my arms, it definitely is whiter. I mean, anything with zinc oxide, you can't really get away significantly from the cast. but it will, if you are on sort of the pale side, even if you have a like olive skin tone, I feel like this would work for pretty much anyone, and it will provide you that protection that you need, especially if you, again, have dry skin or you're on the dry side for whatever reason. I definitely highly recommend this. Again, if you are oily or if you are already sufficiently hydrated in terms of your skin, you might want to go for a more matte finish or a matte sunscreen. I highly recommend the tinted sunscreens that EltaMD has. This is a non-sponsored video, by the way. It sounds like I'm doing a commercial for them, but the non-tinted purely mineral sunscreens are also hydrating, but they're not as, they tend to dry down a little bit more matte and powdery, at least in my experience. So I would recommend those over this one if you have more oily skin. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did like this video and you want to see more sunscreen videos, sunscreen reviews, hit that like button down below. I'd love to have your input. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how you like this video. Have you tried this sunscreen? Let me know down below what your thoughts are. And again, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.